All right, for this extension lesson, we are going to look at ratios. So, what is a ratio? A ratio is something that compares two quantities. So, for example, comparing tigers to lions. So, ratio form is when we use the colon, 10 to 4. There's 10 tigers to 4 lions. We can simplify these, like we simplify fractions, to 5 to 2. In fraction form, same thing, just 10 over 4, which would simplify to 5 over 2. And then explanation, what that means is we use that simplified form. There are 5 tigers for every 2 lions. What is important to note is that order is important. If it's saying give the ratio of tigers to lions, you need to do the number related to tigers first and lions second. If it said what is the ratio of lions to tigers, you'd write the number for lions first and tigers second. So number 1, the table shows how many of each type of snack food is found in a vending machine. What is the ratio of chips to candy? So first off, chips is first. I'm going to highlight that in one color. That needs to go first in my ratio. Candy is second. I'm going to highlight the value for that. That needs to go second in my ratio. So there are 35 chips to 28 candies. Just like we did with fractions, we're going to simplify. So I'm going to look at 35 and 28 on my factor chart. So looking at 35, we've got 35 divides by 1, 5, 7, and 35. For 28, 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. So their greatest common factor is 7. So we are going to divide this by 7. 35 divided by 7, the 7 matches up with 5, so equals 5. 28 divided by 7, the 7 matches up with 4, so 4. So our simplified ratio is 5 to 4. All right, number 2, the school band. In the school band, there are 24 drums and 36 trumpets. What is the ratio of trumpets to drums? So again, I'm going to highlight the order. We want trumpets first, so that needs to go first in the ratio form. And we want drums second, so that needs to go second. When I'm looking at my numbers, we've got 24 and we've got 36. 24 is referring to drums. It's kind of flipped order, so you got to be careful. The number referring to trumpets is 36. So 36 goes first. The drums of 24 go second. Now I'm going to use my factor chart to simplify. Looking at my factors of 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36, and of 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 12. The highest number they both divide by is 12. 36 divided by 12, the 12 matches with 3. 24 divided by 12, the 12 matches with 2. So our simplified ratio is 3 to 2. All right, in Miss Krippinger's class, there are 20 students and 20 Chromebooks. What is the ratio of Chromebooks to students? So Chromebooks is going first, so that's going to go first in my ratio. Students is going to go second, so that's going to go second in my ratio. If it helps you to label, this is Chromebooks, this is students, whatever's going to help, use that method. So circling my numbers, 20 students, 20 Chromebooks. We want Chromebooks first. The number that matches with Chromebooks is 20. Then we want students. The number that matches with students is 20. So this one's kind of interesting. We have the same exact number. So when we're simplifying, they have the same exact number. They can divide by themselves. They can divide by 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 20 divided by 20 is 1. Our simplified ratio is 1 to 1. ever heard that term? We use that sometimes in school. We say we're a one-to-one school. Every student has their own Chromebook. So those were part-to-part examples. Let's look at some part-to-whole examples. So at the zoo, there are 5 zebras, 8 lions, 15 elephants, and 2 tigers. What is the ratio of zebras to all of the animals? So first we are looking at zebras, okay? Then we are comparing all of the animals. So this is zebra to all. The number that represents zebra is right here, that's 5. The most important part for this part-to-whole ratio is when we're talking about all animals. Are zebras animals? Yes. So those are still included in the total for animals. So we are adding up every single thing here. We're adding up the 5 zebras, the 8 lions, the 15 elephants, and the 2 tigers. So I'm going to add 5 plus 8 plus 15 plus 2, and we get 30. So our total, including the zebras, is 30. Now I'm going to look at these to simplify. 5 divides by 1 and 5. 35, 1, 5, 35, and 7. So the greatest common factor is 5. 5 pairs up with 1. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 30. Whoops, I was looking at 35, but it was the same one. 30, the 5 pairs up with 6. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. Number 5, a fruit basket has 3 apples, 5 bananas, and 12 oranges. What is the ratio of oranges to all of the fruit in the basket? So we are comparing oranges first to all of the fruit. So again, it's a part-to-whole ratio. So we're talking about oranges to all. The number that represents oranges is 12. But remember, are oranges fruit? Yeah, they are. Yeah, okay? So we have to include that in our total. There's 3 apples, 5 bananas, 12 oranges. So I'm going to add those up. 3 plus 5 plus 12, which is 20. Now we're going to simplify. 12 divides by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And 20 divides by 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So the highest number they both divide by is 4. 12 divided by 4, the 4 matches with 3. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. All right, number 6, Miss Eider surveyed her homeroom to see what kind of pets they have at home. So we have 7 students that have a dog, 3 that have a cat, and 5 that have no pets. What is the ratio of students who have dogs to all of the students in the class? So we are comparing students that have dogs to all of the students. So first one is students that with dogs, and the second one is all. So dogs to all. The number that represents dogs is 7. 7 students have a dog. the number that represents all the students, well, those that have dogs are still students. So we're going to add 7 plus 3 plus 5, which gives us 15. Now we're going to look to simplify. 7 divides by 1 and 7. 15 divides by 1, 3, 5, and 15. They don't share anything other than 1. 7 divided by 1 is 7. 15 divided by 1 is 15. So our ratio stays 7/15. All right, now let's look at using words to, trying to explain in words what a ratio means. So the ratio of apples to oranges is 8:5. Which of the following statements is true? So apples has to represent 8 and oranges has to represent 5. So what I'm going to look at here is my apples. Do I have 8 apples there? No. So that cannot be true. For the second one, there are 8 apples. Okay, that matches. Let's make sure that the oranges match. Are there 5 oranges? Yep, that one makes sense. Let's double check the others. Checking apples first. For C, are there 8 apples? Nope, so that does not make sense. And then the tricky one with D. So there are 8 apples and 5 oranges. But the reason this doesn't work is it just says there are exactly that. You need the word for every. There aren't exactly 8 apples and exactly 5 oranges. It's for every 8 apples, there are 5 oranges. So that is wrong. All right, that shouldn't be 1. The second one of these problems. The ratio of triangles to circles is 13:7. Which of the following statements is true? So triangles first, and that has to match with 13. Circles second, that has to match with 7. So 13 triangles, let's see for part A. There are 13 circles for every 7 triangles. That does not match up. Part B, there are 13 triangles, which matches, and 7 circles, which matches, but we don't have the word for every. There aren't exactly 13 and exactly 7, so that doesn't work. Part C, there are 7 triangles for every 13 circles. So do we have 13 triangles? No. And part D, there are 13 triangles, that works. 7 circles, that works. We have the word for every, so that statement is true. And last one, the ratio of milk cartons to sandwiches is 7:4. Which of the following statements is true? So we need milk cartons first, which will match with 7. We need sandwiches second, which will match with 4. So 7 has to be with milk cartons. Let's look at the first one. There are 7 milk cartons. Okay, that's true. And there's 4 sandwiches. That's true. But we don't see the word for every. It just says exactly. So that's not a true statement. All right, part B, looking at milk cartons. It doesn't give us, it does give us 7 milk cartons. Let's check sandwiches. It does give us 4 sandwiches. And it has the phrase for every. So that is a true statement. Let's just double check that the others aren't true. So for C, we have 4 milk cartons instead of 7. That is not true. And D, we have 4 milk cartons instead of 7. So that one is not true.